fact that this would be the least exciting dunk ever seen in a men's JV game, but this is super irresponsible of her, because don't you think you'd stay away from traveling like this after everything she's experienced?
Griner said she could beat DeMarcus Cousins in one-on-one, and then they went around asking a bunch of NBA players. The head coach of the UConn girls, Gene, I can't remember his last name.
Auriemma?
Yeah. He said, if there's no ref and they're playing one-on-one, I'm selling my house, I'm taking all my money out of my bank accounts, and I'm putting it all on DeMarcus Cousins.
Something wild just went down. Brittany Griner is straight up teasing a move to the NBA, and no, this ain't just some random flex or throwaway comment. This comes right after she got called out in a way that's got even her biggest fans giving her the side eye. Brittany's always been wrapped in controversy, but this one, it's on a whole new level. She's being hit with major fraud accusations so big that it's flipped the script on how people see her. Now everybody's asking, this NBA talk, is it a power move or is she trying to escape something bigger? Has she been playing us this whole time? Let's not act like this came out of nowhere. Just last week, Brittany was making some strange moves on the business side, like really odd. Her publicist dropped 3 cryptic messages, all talking about competing with elite male athletes and leveling the field. At first, nobody really cared, but then boom, someone leaked a batch of internal emails from an Atlanta Dream staffer accusing Brittany of twisting the media spotlight to hide something off court. And that's when everything exploded. When people dug through those emails, it wasn't just shady, it looked like a straight up cover-up. The language in there, it doesn't whisper scandal, it shouts it. But here's what's got fans really freaking out. The signs were always there. Remember that awkward sideline interview last season where Brittany slipped and said, "If I was in the NBA," before she caught herself. Back then, folks brushed it off. But now, that clip's being replayed like crazy and people are seeing it totally different. And it's not the only time she nearly let something slip. Fans dug up another interview where she said everyone should be allowed to play ball.
Everyone deserves the right to play. Everyone deserves the right to come here, sit in these seats and feel safe and not feel like there's a threat or they can't be who they are. Definitely will be speaking up against that legislation and those laws that are trying to be passed, for sure.
At the time, it felt like she was just being inclusive, showing love to all athletes. But now, people think she was already dropping hints about making a jaw-dropping switch to the NBA, and just when you think it couldn't get messier, the Atlanta Dream front office? Crickets. Not a single word about the leaks, the NBA rumors, or the claim she's hiding something serious. The silence is loud, way too loud. This whole thing's turning into a bombshell that no one saw coming. This whole thing's looking way too calculated, and that's a bad look, not just for Brittany, but for the entire league. But hold up, it gets even messier. What really got the internet buzzing wasn't just Brittany's wild NBA tease, nope. It was what happened right after. A former WNBA teammate, who we're not naming because she's already catching heat, quietly unfollowed Brittany on everything. And then, she reposted a cryptic story that said, "When the truth hits, they always pivot like it was part of the plan." Whew, that one post had people going crazy. Reddit blew up. NBA TikTok started digging up old Brittany pressers, making stitch videos and spinning theories faster than anyone could keep up. And just like that, people stopped talking about the original scandal because now the drama was snowballing in a whole new direction. But let's not lose the thread here. How did Brittany even get exposed in the first place? What's this fraud talk really about?
Shocked the basketball world, Brittany Griner has walked away from the game she once dominated, citing a relentless wave of public hate and emotional exhaustion as the final straw.
According to those same leaked messages, Brittany's team has been secretly trying to clean up behind the scenes for months. Quiet damage control, all to cover up some buried documents linked to a pending lawsuit out of Phoenix. And this is where it goes completely off the rails. The lawsuit? It allegedly names a big-time women's athlete. Yep, everyone's assuming it's Brittany, in a case tied to falsified medical records connected to a 2022 injury exemption. You heard that right. That injury exemption, it supposedly gave her a free pass out of a key stretch of games and unlocked major bonus money she wasn't supposed to get. That's when people started putting 2 and 2 together, and suddenly, everything clicked. Even if this whole thing was going to be brushed under the rug, the moment those bonuses got brought up, it went from shady to straight-up explosive. Now this NBA move, it's looking less like ambition and more like a distraction tactic, or worse, a strategic escape before the fallout really hits. So now the real question is, was Brittany planning this NBA jump all along? Or is this just her last play now that the WNBA door might be closing fast? But things just got even crazier. Most people already know Brittany Griner's relationship with the WNBA hasn't exactly been smooth since that whole Russia ordeal. Yeah, the league brought her back with open arms, posted emotional tributes, made it look like she was returning from battle or something. But behind closed doors, it was way messier than they let on. Insiders say the tension was real. Like real. A bunch of players weren't feeling how much spotlight Brittany was getting. Some even felt like the league was forcing her into being the face of the WNBA, even when her game wasn't always backing it up. So when word started leaking about that lawsuit, nobody was shocked. What was shocking, though, was how the WNBA responded, or better yet, didn't. They didn't defend her. They didn't try to spin it. No PR cleanup, no statements, just total silence. And honestly, that says everything.
Everybody knows who Brittany Griner is. And if you don't know who Brittany Griner is, she is the WNBA star that we traded a weapons terrorist for about a year ago. And recently, a momentous personal occasion has happened for her.
You're about to be a mom. How is that feeling? Pops. Oh, let me get it together. About to be a pops.
Now look, man, it's 2024. I don't care if a woman and a woman want to have a kid together. Good on them. More power to them. But it's just so weird to me. You want your son to call you pops, and whenever his friends ask, what does your dad do for a living? He's supposed to say, oh, he plays in the WNBA. Now, to make this even more confusing, Brittany Griner maintains that she is a biological woman and identifies as female. I don't know. Congratulations to Brittany Griner for bringing in a baby boy. I just think it's very fascinating how this human somehow finds a way to create controversy out of everything. At this point,
Now here's where it gets wild. Griner's camp didn't just hint about going up against men. Nope. They've reportedly already reached out to 2 NBA squads for scrimmage opportunities. The Rockets and the Hornets. Yeah, you read that right. And the wildest part? They're not pushing for contracts or exhibition deals, just scrimmages. Why that matters? Scrimmages are low risk, high exposure. No contracts mean no liabilities. But if fans love it, that's their golden ticket to go bigger. Brittany's playing chess with this move, and she knows exactly what she's doing. But let's get real here. Why now? Why throw yourself into that spotlight and risk the backlash, unless what she's leaving behind in the WNBA is worse than anything waiting for her in the NBA? Cause yeah, elite female athletes scrimmaging with men ain't new, but turning it into a whole public rebrand? That's not about competition. That's looking more and more like an escape plan in disguise. And now the plot thickens, because fans are starting to dig even deeper into Brittany's past moves, and it's raising some serious red flags. People are now pointing to a pattern: sudden sponsorship drops, cryptic social media posts, and even quiet tensions with former teammates. One moment she's doing press runs with big brands, and the next, silence. Gone. Just like that. Sponsors that once plastered her face all over campaigns have mysteriously pulled back. No official statements, just vanished. And here's the kicker. There's buzz that one of those pulled endorsements was directly tied to an internal clause about reputational risk. Translation: if there's even a whiff of scandal, they bounce. And guess what? They did. Meanwhile, fans started rewatching that docuseries Brittany was part of last year, the one where she opened up about rebuilding her life. And now, folks are catching things they missed the first time, like how she kept dodging questions about finances, future plans, and even her long-term place in the league. Back then, it just seemed like she was being private. Now it feels like she knew something was coming. And while Brittany's been moving quiet lately, her inner circle hasn't. One of her close friends, who's been spotted courtside with her more than once, was recently seen liking posts that hinted at new chapters and walking away from fake support. Coincidence? Probably not. This is all starting to feel less like a comeback story and more like a calculated shift before something big drops. A way to flip the narrative before she gets boxed in by it. And let's be honest, if that scrimmage footage ever leaks, whether she holds her own or not, it'll go viral in seconds. That's the move. It's not just about ball anymore. It's about spinning a new image, changing the headlines, and controlling the story before someone else does it for her. Because right now, it looks like Brittany Griner isn't just stepping onto a new court, she's stepping into a whole different game. One she has to win.
It was nice to be back on the court in a real game and everything. The love from the fans when I came out was amazing. The players, I definitely feel it. I appreciate everything a little bit more. All the little small moments that I used to just like, oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't want to go to practice today, or oh, this, that. I think that has changed, honestly. Just appreciating everything, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. You don't know what it's going to look like. So I think that's kind of how it changed a little bit.
But here's the twist nobody saw coming. Some folks in the NBA world are actually entertaining it. Yup, whispers are starting to come from inside team circles. And it's not all laughs and eye rolls like before. A few insiders say certain execs are watching Brittany's situation very closely, not necessarily to sign her, but to see how fans react if she steps onto that court in a legit scrimmage. And let's be real, this wouldn't be the first time the NBA used shock value to stir up buzz. Brittany's name attached to an NBA practice? That alone could set the internet on fire and boost ticket sales, merch drops, and media clicks in one shot. But not everybody's on board. A few retired players have started dropping subtle jabs, saying things like, "Respect the hustle, but the NBA ain't a rehab center." Others are playing nice in public, but sharing way more savage takes in private chats that are now mysteriously leaking into DMs and forums. The divide is getting loud. And while Brittany hasn't spoken out publicly about the lawsuit or the NBA whispers, her team is clearly trying to control the narrative behind the scenes. Sources say they're pushing the idea that this move is about breaking barriers, not dodging scandal. But fans aren't buying it so easily anymore. Even her old college coach was caught in an awkward moment during a recent interview. When asked if she thinks Brittany could handle an NBA pace, she paused way too long before giving a safe, generic answer. And that pause, it spoke volumes.
I'm glad she's that confident in her abilities. It's also a little delusional. It's not a walk in the park over here.
I'm just gonna use that to fuel this. I mean, I'm better, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay, little man.
Like the confidence be cheap, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I got cuz on that one.
If there's no referee, I'm gonna go to the ATM and I'm gonna sell my house and I'm gonna put all my money on DeMarcus Cousins.
And let's not forget, timing is everything. The WNBA season's heating up, playoff spots are getting tight, and all of a sudden, Brittany's name is missing from highlight reels and game recaps. She's not just stepping back, it feels like she's already halfway out the door. So now the tension's building. Is Brittany about to shock the world with a historic NBA debut? Or is this all just a distraction while the real story plays out behind closed doors? One thing's for sure, whatever happens next, it's not just sports news anymore. It's turning into a full-blown cultural moment, and just when it seemed like things were finally starting to chill, boom, another leak dropped and it shook everything up again. This time, it's a voice note, allegedly from a private WNBA staff meeting, and in it, a coach calls Brittany damaged optics in motion. Yeah, that's not just shade, that's a full-on diss. But what really made jaws drop came after that leak. Her former agent, gone. Unfollowed her, scrubbed every single promo, and wiped her clean off the talent roster like she never existed. That kind of move ain't random, something major definitely cracked behind the scenes. This doesn't look like drama, it looks like fallout. And whatever it is, it's big enough to flip everything we thought we knew about Brittany, the league, and the game itself. So what's the NBA saying through all this? As usual, they're keeping it cute and quiet. No official statements, no public reactions. But according to verified sports insiders, there's curiosity, not commitment. One league source reportedly said Brittany's pitch felt more like a PR reset than a serious basketball play. And honestly, that lines up perfectly. Because right now, nobody's breaking down her highlight reels. They're glued to the drama, and her team knows it. And here's where it really gets messy. Fans are split down the middle. Some are calling her bold, saying she's rewriting history and challenging the system. But others, not so kind. They're calling out the distractions, saying, if you're really good enough, you don't need smoke and mirrors, wink. And that's becoming the real debate. What's authentic and what's performance? And put it all together, and this saga is looking less like a sports story and more like a full-blown stage play. But there's one more piece we have to talk about, Brittany's media strategy. Because it's no accident how this is rolling out. In just the last 48 hours, her team's gone into overdrive trying to reframe the narrative. They dropped a competitive reevaluation announcement, leaked old clips of Brittany dunking on male players, and even teased a whole docuseries called her Next Chapter. Word is the documentary's already deep in post-production, and Brittany's already doing hush-hush promos to get people hyped before it even drops. So now the real question is, was this all planned way ahead? Or is this her backup plan playing out in real time? Either way, she's keeping the spotlight exactly where she wants it.
Walk on the court and it hit me hard, So just looking forward to all those moments, just walking in on the first home game.
I played in front of everybody in one place, honestly, since high school, honestly. So just having everybody here right now.
Now it all makes sense why Brittany Griner's name has been everywhere lately, especially after that interview with Cam Newton. That sit-down wasn't just casual talk. It was a whole setup to reshape her image. From the title alone, Brittany speaks her truth. You could tell it was more about vibe than substance. And when you really watch it, you see Brittany trying hard to come off as chill, humble, and relatable, like she's the underdog again. Not the headline-grabbing athlete surrounded by mystery and scandal. It's all feeling a little too polished, like it's part of a bigger rebranding push. And so now the question is this really about redemption? Or is this a full-blown reset before something bigger drops? An anonymous WNBA staffer leaked a DM convo that hit like a punch. Someone asked, "Is she really going to the NBA?" And the response? "She's not moving. She's deflecting." That line hit hard, because deflecting means there's something being hidden. And if it's big enough to walk away from the league that built her name, then yeah, this could rock the whole WNBA to its core. And speaking of the league, what does this mean for the WNBA's future? Right now, they're sitting back watching all this unfold, saying absolutely nothing. No press releases, no denial of the NBA rumors, no PR control, just silence. And that silence, it screams, "We're done."
Originally from Houston.
Yes.
H-Town.
Born and raised.
Right? How was that growing up in the city of Houston for you?
I mean, it was pretty easy at first. You know, I wasn't into sports really at first. I was an active kid, but like I was climbing trees, riding bikes, skating, all that. But I wasn't into basketball just yet. Grew up with my parents, and you know, they did their best to make sure I was on the straight path, but it was cool. It got hectic once I got to high school and that dunk video came out. That's when life kind of started changing.
Right.
Yeah.
So the real question is, was Brittany exposed? Or did the WNBA finally cut her loose? Because here's the wild part. The lawsuit, still sealed. Those leaked emails, still not confirmed. And that docuseries, already locked in with a major streaming platform. So maybe this isn't just some sloppy scandal. Maybe this is a soft exile dressed up as a fresh start. If that's the case, then we gotta ask, what else is sitting behind those sealed court files that made Brittany flip leagues before it all hit the fan? Right now, Brittany's quiet. The Atlanta Dream's giving no comment. The WNBA, watching it all play out with the door half shut. So maybe this story isn't really about where she's going. It's about what and who she's leaving behind. And until we find out what's buried in those sealed docs, this NBA move might just be the slickest cover-up we've seen all year. Thanks for watching. If you want more wild stories like this one, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you never miss the drama.